Mesa Murders. February 2nd, 2009 started like any other day in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The sun bathed the desert landscape in its golden glow, casting long shadows across the barren West Mesa. The tranquility of this vast, desolate expanse seemed unbroken, an empty canvas of sand and sagebrush stretching to the horizon. On that fateful day, a woman set out for a walk with her dog, seeking solace in the simplicity of the desert. Little did she know that her routine stroll would unravel a mystery that would grip the entire city and expose a horrifying secret buried beneath the earth. As she and her loyal canine companion meandered through the rugged terrain, the dog's keen senses were drawn to something hidden among the sand and shrubs. It wasn't long before the woman noticed her dog pawing at the ground with an unusual intensity. Curiosity piqued, she approached the spot, and her heart sank as she realized what lay before her, an unmistakable human bone. Shock and fear coursed through her as she took in the gruesome discovery. She knew she had to act swiftly, and with trembling hands, she reached for her phone and called the authorities. By then, she still had no idea that what she had stumbled upon was not just an isolated incident. It was the beginning of a haunting journey into the depths of human depravity. The arrival of law enforcement marked the transformation of this serene desert into a sprawling crime scene. As the day unfolded, the true scale of the nightmare became horrifyingly clear. Human remains, skeletal and fragmented, lay scattered across the West Mesa like macabre puzzle pieces. The discovery raised more questions than answers. Who were these victims? And what had led them to such a horrifying fate? As investigators painstakingly unearthed each set of remains, they began the arduous process of identification. This was a complex task, as many of the victims had been buried for years, exposed to the elements, and subjected to the relentless forces of nature. Dental records, DNA analysis, and forensic anthropology were employed to piece together the identities of the deceased. Later, they discovered that what they found were the remnants of 11 females, ranging in age from 15 to 32 years old, and a fetus. Eventually, it was found that all of them went missing between 2001 and 2005, and one of them was pregnant. Their names were also revealed to the public: Jamie Barella, 15, Monica Candelaria, 22, Victoria Chavez, 26, Virginia Cloven, 24, Selania Edwards, 15, Cinnamon Elks, 32, Doreen Marquez, 24, Julie Nieto, 24, Veronica Romero, 28, Evelyn Salazar, 27, and Michelle Valdez, 22. As the news of the West Mesa murders rippled through the community, fear and mistrust settled in, and the city was forced to confront a horror that defied comprehension. The police investigators suspected that all the bodies discovered were the grim handiwork of a single perpetrator or a group acting in tandem. The sinister nature of these crimes led the authorities to coin a haunting moniker for the unknown culprit, the West Mesa Bone Collector. The community held its breath, gripped by fear and unease as they awaited answers and justice in the face of this horrifying revelation. Despite the relentless efforts of law enforcement, a shroud of mystery continued to enshroud the West Mesa Bone Collector's case. Astonishingly, no official suspects had ever been publicly identified in connection with these gruesome murders. The absence of answers only deepened the sense of fear and uncertainty that had gripped the community. In a bid to break the silence and encourage cooperation from potential witnesses or informants, authorities announced a substantial reward of up to $100,000 in 2010. This substantial sum was offered as an incentive for anyone with crucial information that could lead to the arrest and conviction of the individual or individuals responsible for these heinous crimes. The hope was that this significant reward might finally bring justice to the victims and their grieving families while unmasking the chilling secrets of the West Mesa Bone Collector. The West Mesa Murders had cast a long shadow over Albuquerque, and as the investigation continued, the city and its residents grappled with a mix of emotions: grief, fear, frustration, and determination. Over time, the investigation yielded potential leads and suspects. Detectives scrutinized the backgrounds of individuals known to have connections to the victims, hoping to find the missing pieces of the puzzle. One of the earliest leads in the investigation pointed towards a man named Fred Reynolds, who knew one of the missing women and reportedly had photos of missing sex workers. In 2009, he died of natural cause. Another suspect was Lorenzo Montoya, who had a dark and violent history, lived extremely close to the West Mesa burial site. He had been arrested twice for violent attacks on sex workers, creating a concerning pattern, and had even made threats about killing his girlfriend and burying her, disturbingly echoing the crimes discovered on the West Mesa. In December 2006, Montoya reached a horrifying climax when he strangled a teenage sex worker within his trailer. The victim's boyfriend subsequently shot Montoya. The killings appeared to stop after his demise. However, questions persisted. Did Montoya act alone, or was there a larger conspiracy at play? Could all the West Mesa victims be attributed to him, or were there more secrets yet to be revealed? In August 2010, police conducted searches at properties in Joplin, Missouri, linked to local photographer and businessman Ron Irwin, as part of the West Mesa case's investigation. They seized a substantial number of photos, estimated to be in the tens of thousands. It was discovered that Irwin used to visit the state fair in Albuquerque. However, authorities later confirmed that Irwin was not a suspect in the case. Later in the same year, Lee Kimball, a convicted serial killer from Colorado, claimed that he was under investigation in connection with the West Mesa Murders. He, however, vehemently denied any involvement in the women's deaths. In 2014, a significant development in a long-standing cold case drew the attention of Albuquerque police towards Joseph Blee as a potential suspect in the West Mesa Murders. Blee had gained notoriety as the mid-school rapist due to his criminal activities in the 1980s. During that time, he targeted the homes of 13 to 15-year-old girls living near McKinley Middle School in Albuquerque, subjecting them to sexual assaults. A crucial breakthrough occurred when a DNA sample from one of the rape cases, which had been overlooked for years, was retested in 2010. This retesting linked Blee to the rape. In 2015, further suspicion arose when Blee was implicated in the murder of a sex worker. His DNA was found on the inner waistband and belt of the victim, who was discovered deceased on Central Avenue, a notorious area for sex work in the eastern part of the city. Additionally, a tree tag from a nursery was discovered in the vicinity where the West Mesa victims had been buried, leading investigators to a nursery previously frequented by Blee. Inside his home, investigators uncovered women's underwear and jewelry that did not belong to his wife or daughter. Furthermore, a chilling statement attributed to Blee emerged. He allegedly told a cellmate that he had hired the West Mesa victims, referring to them as trashy. In June 2015, Blee was sentenced to 36 years in prison for his involvement in the mid-school rape case, at the age of 58. The impact of the West Mesa Murders extended beyond the courtroom. The community, which had rallied together to support the victims and their families, now turned its focus towards healing. Memorials and vigils continued to honor the memory of the victims, and community organizations worked tirelessly to provide support for those affected by the tragedy. The case also led to important discussions about the vulnerabilities faced by marginalized individuals, including those involved in high-risk lifestyles. Advocates pushed for increased support and resources to address the root causes of these vulnerabilities, such as addiction and poverty, in an effort to prevent such tragedies from occurring in the future. As time passed, the West Mesa Murders would become a somber chapter in the city's history, a story of loss, resilience, and the ongoing commitment to remember those who had been taken too soon. The lessons learned from this tragic episode would continue to shape the way Albuquerque addressed issues of safety, vulnerability, and community support, ensuring that the victims' legacy would live on in the efforts to create a safer and more compassionate city. that, we have come to the end of our video. Please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and click that notification bell. This is Ben saying, see you next time.